Hey, Shalom, it's your brother Monathan. All right, first and foremost, I'm going to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ruach HaKodesh. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers, and of course, the few Akwat who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Now, today we're going to talk about the American dream. All right, and the American dream, in all actuality, it doesn't really exist. The only reason it seemingly existed before for these Edomites was because the American, you know, what is the word I'm looking for? Hegemony was at the peak of its imperialist power. But now we're in the stage of the Lord's movie where the weak are saying that they're strong as well. What, Joel, the third chapter? So the grips of control they had internationally isn't quite what it used to be. It's still there, don't get it twisted, but it's not what it used to be. See, 20, 40 years ago, when America was at its peak, their control was absolute. It's not absolute anymore. People have caught on to the fact that America is simply a puppet for the small hats. You see, by causing suffering all around the world for, all the, lower class people, all the other nations, especially the nation of Israel, they could provide luxuries for their citizens. Right now, the citizen in America, even the Edomite citizens, right? They're in this loop where they have to work extremely hard just to barely make ends meet. That's why there's such an uproar about people receiving a living wage. People aren't receiving living wages. So everybody's realizing that we're all in captivity. But the deepest captivity would be for the Israelites. But we're all in captivity. And with the small hats calling the shots, there's never going to be, a meeting in the middle. There's never going to be a a fair deal, so to speak. So the solution for the small hats of this unfair, reality they've created is for them to exert even more control. This is the problem, with every nation, every empire that's ever ruled upon the earth. The people at the top, they're always corrupt. They're always giving it to the desires of their flesh. They don't judge the earth according to the standard that the Lord commissioned his chosen family to have. So when we come into power, there's a reason why all of the nations on the earth are eventually going to be like, man, these are the people of the Lord. Because a righteous judgment is going to go forth. And that's what the earth needs, a righteous rulership. You don't need people in rulership who legislate evil practices, who make loopholes for themselves to commit heinous acts. And like it talks about, what is that, Zechariah 11:5, and they profess themselves not guilty. They'll make an unrighteous decree, and then they'll make loopholes for themselves so they can say, oh, that's the people in rulership. When the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. Was that Proverbs 29:2? When the righteous beareth rule, the people rejoice. Nobody's rejoicing right now, so it's testament to who's in rulership. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. Who, if not him, then who is he? Esau Edom, the so-called white man, has covered the standard that the Lord set up, covered the Lord's true people, covered the Lord himself with the treacherous way. And it's the end result of it. We're seeing it play out. And it's only going to get worse from here before it gets better. And even if you're a heathen, right, you should be wanting the Lord's chosen people to rule, because the Lord's laws are going to be written within their inward parts. They're going to make perfect judgment. Righteousness is going to go forward, and you'll be able to afford to get a home. From this point on, there's never going to be a point in history where you'll be able to afford to get a home and just to be, have autonomy and, the closest thing to sovereignty with your family. You're not going to have that. They already told, the World Economic Forum already told you what they got planned for you. You're going to own nothing and be happy. There's not a reality where these people are in rulership and life is experienced or enjoyed to the fullest. Everybody should be longing for the kingdom of heaven to be established upon the earth. Again, you can't buy a home. You can't afford your car. You can't pay it off. Every new job that pops up is really just like gig work. It's not like real, like a real, you know what I mean? And the job that people do have, again, it's not paying them a living wage. So it's not that the country is going through a rough spot or something like that. This whole society is going down the drain. So the same way ancient Rome fell, so like a long day. The same way ancient Rome fell is the same way America, Babylon the Great, is going to fall. But in a greater fashion, because the Lord is going to come and destroy this place via fire. The Lord even put the spirit of Nero back as the figurehead of the ruler of this place. So for somebody to know that they're an Israelite, to know prophecy, you'd be insane to really be invested in this society. For you to know, if you know prophecy in the scriptures, and you know what the Lord has planned for his people, there's no way a person in their right mind could want to still be in this society, still have an affinity and a deep attachment to this world, knowing what we know. See, when people come across us and they feel like the message we're pushing is bad, it's hurtful, it's they don't understand what's going on. Even if you're a heathen, because the long-term end of this man being in rulership, no flesh will be saved, like it talks about in Matthew the 24th chapter. The long-term end result of the Lord and his people being in rulership is going to be life flourishing in a way that it's never been witnessed ever. More life is the end of the righteous people being in rulership. And if you're an Israelite, immortality is waiting for you. Real joy. Nobody has really experienced joy on this side. Something that can never be lost. A moment that can never be lost. Everlasting joy. Nobody's experienced that. If you're an Israelite, you got to be crazy to have an attachment to this world and the standard that this world pushes. You really have to empty your cup to be circumcised in the mind, because the Lord has a better way. Everything about how this devil does things should kind of rub you the wrong way, because you start to see the world and filter it through the Lord's way, filter it through the scriptures, and you realize, oh, this everything's backwards, everything's inside out. So again, the American dream doesn't exist. The scriptures tell us, let me go get it. It's Matthew 10 and 34. It's written in red. Before the kingdom of heaven is established, yeah, a bit of woe or a bad time, okay, or great destruction has to go down first. All right. Matthew 10 and 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on the earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. When the Lord comes back, all the other nations, all the other, governments, all the other entities of powers are going to be cast down. Verse 35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, because only the elect of the nation of Israel are going to be delivered. Majority of the people that are Israelites, man, they're going to die here because they have that attachment to this place. So they're not going to see things in the spirit. They're not going to see, the beauty and the conduct the Lord commissioned us to have. They're not going to see those things. All right, so let me read this again from the top. Matthew 10 and 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foe shall be there of his own household. He that loveth, this is the point I wanted down here. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. He that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. So right there, it's highlighting If worldly attachments, yeah, you're gonna honor your mother and father. And it's not saying um that you just don't respect or you don't love or you don't honor. You do all those things. But the priority of seeking the kingdom first vastly oversees all of those things in your life. Part of taking your cross, like it talks about in 38th verse, is you're departing from evil. And when you depart from evil, as the scriptures say, you make yourself a prey. So it's a rite of passage to catch a little hell, to seemingly suffer a little bit for the sake of pleasing Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Right? It's a rite of passage to do those things so you can be hid in the day of the Lord's anger, like it's talking about in Zephaniah 2 and 3. Seek righteousness, seek meekness, so that you may be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. And then in Sirach 2, it tells you, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Prepare thy soul to be tested. Okay? You should have kingdom dreams, not an American dream. So Abaratazah, just something quick I wanted to get out while I'm out here at the plantation. I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters pursuing this truth and sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house.